adult Christmas films, but not porn. That sounds like porn. But yes, how could I forget Strictly? Most important. This year they're bringing back Gavin and Stacey, and I love Gavin and Stacey. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I am Yvette and I moved to the UK in May this year, so it's my first proper Christmas and I'm getting into the festive spirit with these videos. So for this video, I wanted to do a recap of my favourite British Christmas films, but to be honest, there's not heaps. So I thought, isn't really enough to just sit down and be like, here's 3 movies. So I thought, one thing that England or the UK does really well is Christmas specials. So I wanted to go through some of my favourite Christmas TV specials around Christmas time. So some of the ones that I've loved, that I love to watch, and then some of the ones I'm looking most forward to this year as well. British Christmas films, you guys don't do them often, but when you do them really well. But like America obviously pumps them out. Like if you've seen Netflix, they have like so many like Hallmark rubbish Christmas films, like the Christmas Prince and the Night Before Christmas, like all these awful ones, whereas like the Brits do like my first movie, Love Actually, which Love Actually is like the ultimate Christmas classic. It's probably up there with like The Santa Claus because it's more of a mature take and more realistic take on Christmas. It's not like magic and fairies and elves, it's like people giving gifts and having life and having problems. Everyone can relate to it because there's so many different stories. So I think that's one of the common themes of like British Christmas films of why they're better, because they're more grounded in realism. I really like Love Actually. It's got so many good people in it. I feel like everybody's either in that or Harry Potter or both. Like there's no one that's not in either of those. I actually haven't watched it this year. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll put it on. I've got too many films. My actual favourite, this isn't British, so scratch it from the list, but my actual favourite Christmas film is The Grinch. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it, because I know people think, oh, it's a kid's film. It's Jim Carrey, and half the stuff he says is for adults. Like, it's hilarious if you listen to what Jim Carrey's saying. Half the time he's making jokes about like the post office and tax, like not for kids. Very funny. But that's not what this video is, but I thought might slip a recommendation in for you. So I think in Love Actually, my favorite story is the one with the little boy and he chases the girl through the airport. Also, that song is still a banger, and I reckon it's because of Love Actually that every year the Mariah Carey All I Want for Christmas like goes off. It just like soars in the charts, and I reckon it has to be because Love Actually is getting played, or at least partially. I feel like Love Actually has to be played at least once during the Christmas period, even if it's just played in the background while you're cooking. It has to be played. My second Christmas film is Bridget Jones. So Bridget Jones, I feel like falls into that like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie thing? But I think it is, because there's a whole plot point about the jumpers, the Christmas jumpers being ugly, and she's out in the snow in her pajamas, in her underwear. It's all around the Christmas period about her feeling lonely and all that. So quintessentially British, quintessentially Christmassy. It's very good. I haven't watched it in so long, but it's got Colin Firth and Hugh Grant. Like, how can you not love it? So definitely watch it. If you haven't watched it recently, Christmas isn't always a good time to catch up and watch it again. Muppets Christmas Carols, I haven't actually seen, but I've seen it come up on the internet a lot. Tell me if it's worth watching. Is it like The Grinch where there's like a bunch of jokes for adults, or is it all very kitsy? Because I never really liked puppets. It's not my thing. But maybe you'll be like, no, it's really good, you should watch it, and then I'll listen to you and do it. So tell me if I should watch Muppets Christmas Carol. I feel like I should just bite the bullet and do it one day. So Scrooge, I know there's a few different Scrooge films. I'm not talking about the Bill Murray one, I'm talking about the English one. I just really like the A Christmas Carol story of like ghosts of Christmas past and future in that, and this one has Albert Finney, I'm not sure how you say his name, but it's because it's quite an old film. It's like in the 80s, I think, but it's set in obviously the 1800s, so you can't really tell that it's quite old because it just kind of fits. So if you want like the most Christmassy British thing that's kind of historic, that's like the best. It's so good. Another Christmas film that I watched last year that I really enjoyed was The Man That Invented Christmas. I don't think it did that well at the box office, but I highly recommend it if you're sick of like the old, like normal films that you've like seen 1,000 times. This one is about Charles Dickens writing A Christmas Carol. It's not the story of that, but the story of how that came to be, and it's more about him and his life. But it was very interesting, obviously all about Christmas. Simon Callow's in it, Christopher Plummer's in it, Dan Stevens in it. There's a lot of names in it. It was really well made, really good budget, really good cinematography, very nice, very authentic. It's set obviously in the 1800s when Charles Dickens had some financial troubles and had trouble getting his book published, and how he ended up getting it published. So it's a bit more of a film rather than like a Christmas film. So if you want something a bit more legitimate, do you know what I mean? Less airy-fairy, more serious film, but it's still fun, and it's not like heavy duty, but it is more of a, like, you can't have it on in the background film, you need to like watch it. But it is very good and I enjoyed it. Another current classic is The Holiday. I put it on because people seem to love it. It's not my favorite. I don't know if I just watched it and I missed the hype, but it is a good film. I do like it, but I'm just not a fan of Jack Black, I think, which maybe you're gonna all unsubscribe because, but I like him, but just not in a romantic comedy. I like him in like a comedy, you know, like go full Jack Black like Jumanji, but in this feels odd. But if you haven't seen The Holiday, a Brit and an American switch, and then they end up finding love and Christmas and that. But it is very aesthetic, it is very pretty, there's a lot of family elements. Hugh Grant and his kid, very cute, do love that. Maybe I should give it another chance. Tell me below if I should give it another chance. I also decided to put on this list, it's very contested, but Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I know a lot of people class that as a Christmas film, and I love Harry Potter, so any excuse to put it on the list, I will. Also, I haven't watched it in so long, and now I'm in England. How have I not watched it? So I'll probably put that in the background when I'm wrapping presents or something, because it's so perfect. Also, this year, Brits have launched a new Christmas film. So this video is sponsored by, it's not, I wish it was. Feel free to sponsor me, guys. The Last Christmas, which is the new film with Daenerys, so Emilia Clarke, Game of Thrones fame. This one looks, I haven't actually seen it, it's on my list to go see, but yes, Emilia Clarke, down and out, she hates Christmas, has no joy in her life, meets a guy, finds love, enjoys Christmas. I hear there's a twist though, and that's what entices me most. I want to know more. So I think that's what's driving me to get to the cinemas sooner rather than later. So pretty keen for that. Tell me below if you've seen it and if I should see it, because I don't know if I'll have time, but I'm gonna make time. Maybe I'll go see it like Christmas Eve or something. Super festive. But yeah, see what I mean by the Brits don't bring them out every year, they bring them out every few years, but when they are, they're classics, and they've got really good casts, and they've got good actors, and it's just good. And it's about people, it's not about like the Santa Claus. Like, as much as I love Tim Allen, it's more of a kids film. I think Brits make adult films, adult Christmas films, but not porn. That sounds like porn. And now to my next part of this video is Christmas specials. So Brits will often do one episode of a season just for Christmas, and it doesn't make sense in the chronology of the story, but it makes sense for Christmas. The most obvious one is Doctor Who. I think it's almost a tradition for people to sit down and watch Doctor Who on Christmas Day, and it's usually like movie length. It's its own, like, it's basically a movie with Doctor Who in it. I really love those, particularly David Tennant's my favourite Doctor. But yeah, I'm excited to see this one because they got the new female Doctor, which will be exciting. So that's a new one. This year they're bringing back Gavin and Stacey, and I love Gavin and Stacey, and I love Rob Brydon, and I love James Corden, obviously. It's just gonna be so fun. I need to like marathon all of Gavin and Stacey before it comes back. I think that's going to be on the agenda. But yes, they just posted an ad for it, like little, what do you call it, like teaser clip of it, and it already looks so fun. I really enjoy Gavin and Stacey. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for the Gavin and Stacey reunion Christmas episode. They also do, Bake Off does a Christmas special. Bake Off does its own Christmas special where they get people on. Sometimes it's old bakers, sometimes it's celebrities, and they all do Christmas dishes, which is super fun. They also, basically every TV show, game show has a Christmas special. I really like, my favorite probably TV show, like game show, is probably Would I Lie to You, which is why I love Rob Brydon, obviously, and David Mitchell, which is very fun. So hopefully that'll be Christmassy. Everyone has a Christmas special. Also, they have their own Christmas game shows, which is amazing. So there's shows that only exist at Christmas. So one of these would be Big Fat Quiz of the Year, which I've said is my absolute favorite. They normally get really good comedians like Noel Fielding or Russell Brand. David Mitchell's on that. Who else is on it? They always have amazing people on it. And they just get quizzed on stuff over the year. They usually have one at Christmas on Boxing Day, I think, or it could be on Christmas Day, and I watched it in Boxing Day because I was in Australia because of time zones. And they also do one in January for like, of all time, I think, just because it's so popular. By far, I look forward to that every year. I'm very excited about it. QI has its own Christmas special where they all get dressed up. I think the Christmas special with Daniel Radcliffe is one of the best ones of all time. They do like magic tricks. That's my favorite. I think EastEnders had a Christmas special, but I don't watch EastEnders, so you got to tell me if that's worth watching. And then also Strictly, I think, has a Christmas special, which I've seen because I watched some. There's a YouTuber, Joe Sugg, who's on it, and so he's been, and also Diane, who's Australian, so my people. She's on it, so I know I follow them on Instagram, and I know they're promoting that there is a Christmas special, so that'll be very exciting. But yes, how could I forget Strictly? Most important. I think my number one Christmas specials that I'm most excited for is obviously Gavin and Stacey and Big Fat Quiz, but Bake Off always goes alright. I think they're even doing a Winter Love Island this year. Like, they love to make a Christmas-fied version of everything. So it's hard to keep up. So I want you to tell me in the comments below what the best Christmas specials are that I should be watching. Know that I'm watching the ones I've said, but tell me if there's anything I'm missing, because it's so hard because there's just so many to stay on top of everything. So that is it for my list of Christmas movies and Christmas specials. So please do tell me in the comments below any I'm missing. I would love to know. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more Christmas content. And remember to hit subscribe so I can see you next time, so you can see what other Christmas adventures I'm getting up to. I promise I will leave this apartment eventually, but not today.